I've been telling you now for a while that no one has challenged my facts on these czars, but I can't make that claim any longer on Van Jones. Nope. I have been challenged.
Big time.
Big time. Not by the White House. Not by the White House. By the combined forces of the Huffington Post and Eva Patterson.
No, tell me not Eva.
Yeah, Eva.
Not Eva.
Yeah, she's the head of an organization that founded the fight to court systems because of their right-wing bias. Let's let that sink in for a minute.
Because they're right.
The court system's right wing bias.
Yeah.
That's the bias. The right
wing.
That moves the court system too far to the right.
Too far to the right.
That's court system.
She's also a woman that Van Jones himself calls. By the way, Van Jones, you know who he is, right?
Green job czar.
He's our green job czar.
He's really not a
job czar. Now hang on just a second. Let's get all the facts. Anyway, so Eva is somebody that Van Jones calls his saving grace. So we know when she comes and stands to his defense, it's like having my mom do it.
It's his saving grace becoming his saving grace.
Okay. She's a woman that an article said she, quote, enjoyed having the young radical Jones in her office. And by the way, this isn't a National Review article. It is an article in which Patterson herself points out in a positive light in her critique of my Jones segments on TV. So in an article that she says, hey, by the way, you should read this article about, she says she enjoys having the young radical in her office. Who is that young radical?
Green job czar.
Okay, here's crazy claim number one that she takes on, and this is a familiar one, that Van Jones is a special advisor, not a czar. In one of the articles she references in defense of Jones in her critique is a Newsweek interview with Jones. Here's the headline written by Newsweek. What green jobs? Washington is spending $60 billion to create the careers of the future, but not a single green job yet exists. Obama's green job czar explains. So she uses that article to point out that the media occasionally refers to advisors as czars, a claim that they get a pass for, apparently, but it is one of the facts that I'm, quote, fabricating, according to her. I've said it over and over again. My problem with Van Jones is that he has the ear of the president, not that he's a czar. She says Van is nothing but a mid-level staffer. Got it? So he's not a czar. He's a mid-level staffer. Doesn't have a big effect on the billions of dollars going towards green jobs. Yet in the same column, she refers to Jones like this. He has touched and improved thousands of lives in the course of his career. Now he's in a position to help millions.
A mid-level guy can do that?
A mid-level staffer
can help millions.
I really don't know if he's a mid-level staffer with no power. I don't know how he's going to help millions. But hey, who am I? I'm the guy, who made this jingle about Van Jones.
Green job czar.
So just to remain credible, we've corrected the jingle for her. It's a little different.
A little longer.
Yeah, well,
a chance to explain his title.
Special advisor for green jobs at the White House Council on Environmental Quality.
There you go. Crazy claim number 2. Beck has said or implied that Van went to prison for taking part in the Rodney King riots. ADD moment. Note the wording here, said or implied. One of the two. But back to the idea that Jones wasn't the crazy prison-residing madman that I apparently implied that he was. She says he even penned an essay despairing the violence in the state of the country. The title of the essay that she pointed out in her defense, quote, 15 years ago, Rodney King uprising left L.A. in flames and me in jail.
Wait a minute. I thought he had never been, or he'd never been in a jail or seen the inside of a prison, or
never watched.
Didn't know the jails
Barney
even exist.
Fife. What? So even if I didn't say, instead I just implied it, the accusation against me is Van Jones never went to prison. He only went to jail. I don't believe I said prison, but maybe I did.
Well, you implied it, though.
I might have implied
Jail
it.
implies prison.
In my face. Man, they
If you say
really-
jail, that implies prison.
Does it really?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Man, they've got me on that one.
they
I'm
got
on
you.
the ropes.
Dead to
there.
rights.
Another article that she mentioned positively says this, quote, in 1994, the young activist formed a socialist collective, standing together for to organize a revolutionary movement or storm, which held study groups on the theories of Marx and Lenin and dreamed of a multiracial socialist utopia. They protested police brutality and got arrested for crashing through police barricades.
Yeah, but did they go to jail or prison?
Well, I don't know. And I mean, it didn't say that he was arrested. I mean, it just says basically that he started organizations for people who get arrested.
Oh, it's totally different.
Boy, she's got you on this.
Liar.
Green Jobs Mark.
Of course,
got you.
Jones was arrested protesting the Rodney King riots. He later had the charges dropped. This supposedly is another strike against me, but I didn't bring this up. I didn't bring up the time in jail because I was worried that he was a longtime criminal involved in illegal activity or anything like that. I brought it up because of what he said about that. This was a turning point in his life. Namely, this was his conversion to communism. Let's take a look at the essay that she pointed us to a little closer. What were his real feelings about the riots? Quote, let's be clear. The riots were understandable, unavoidable, even necessary, but they were not laudable. Los Angeles' great self-emulation and its many versions elsewhere give us nothing to cheer about. In other words, it was something that had to be done, but it wasn't a happy time. I guess kind of like spanking your kid. Strong defense there. Also, remember that this essay was written before his arrest, supposedly before his radical conversion. She goes on and she says, quote, Van wasn't even in Los Angeles during those tumultuous days. Right. Because riots only happened in Los Angeles? Definitely not in other areas, right? Like San Francisco, where Van Jones was. He was in San Francisco, where he himself described the scene like this, quote, we were 1,000 strong on Market Street, with the Bay Bridge shut down in rush hour traffic and the grounds around the State Building swarming with angry mobs. Sounds like a picnic. Our rallying cry was for justice. Our demand was that the system be changed. Yes, still quoting Van Jones, the great revolutionary moment had at long last come, and the time clearly was ours. So, still quoting, we stole stuff. Stole stuff. Radios, tennis shoes. Well, not everybody, of course. The vast majority, me included, just marched around and chanted slogans. But some set trash cans on fire and smashed in car windows. Some kids stoned a few passing cars pretty good and stole stuff, like I said. End quote.
That's not a riot.
That's not a riot.
A laugh riot, maybe. Riot is fun, but not a riot.
The hilarity was ensuing at that point.
Boy, then the fun broke out. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Why do you use break out? Were you implying that he was in prison?
No, only jail.
Oh, my goodness.
Only jail.
Crazy claim number 3. In 2005... this is crazy claim number 3 of mine, now being taken apart by Eva. What's her name? Flogmosterson.
Eva Patterson, but that was very, very close.
Thank you.
Flogmosterson. Very close.
The 2005 profile that Beck is flogging actually makes it crystal clear, even in the headline, that Jones has renounced his earlier views, matured, and moved on. Now, what I have said is that he is a communist. Self-avowed communist. I have also said that he was a revolutionary and a black nationalist. Van's, quoting her, Van's transformation is the entire point of the piece. and it is impossible that Beck does not know that he has transformed. You ready for this?